Hello Michelle. Last week, a few days, I was in a really bad mood and I woke up that way and I couldn't shake it for the rest of the day, and I hate that. I don't want to be in a bad mood and I don't want to go through the whole day feeling instantly kind of negative reaction to things. I don't want to be grumpy to people. But I didn't know what to do about it. I've learned that when I'm in a bad mood, often it's got something to do with something about me. So for example, I might reflect and realize that I haven't had a lot of time to myself lately and I'm frustrated about that, and I feel like I haven't had any thinking space and I've just been doing things for other people or just tasks. If I reflect, I can figure out what I'm unhappy about in myself. I can fix that and then my bad mood goes away. More recently, like since I had my second kid and I wasn't taking pregnancy vitamins, which are pretty hardcore, and I hopped back onto the contraceptive pill, which can mess up your hormones. And so I was like, what if I need to get my blood checked and I'm really low on some things and I need to take more hardcore vitamins or minerals or something? Or what if going back on this contraceptive pill, I have read over the years that some people are really affected, like can get depressed and things. What if that's happening? And when you have a change of mood or when something changes like that in yourself, then I've written about it before, that you can feel like you're never going to get back the other way. It's very strange. It's not Occam's razor. Like, the simple thing would be, oh, the bulk of my existence I've been in a good mood. This is probably temporary. But when you're in it, then you're like, what happens if I never get back the other way? I thought about making an appointment with the GP and explaining my woes, saying, I've changed, man. And then maybe 3 days later, I was back to normal. And I don't know what that was all about. But I hate having a bad mood. I have found that on those mornings that if I jump into the shower first thing, that something about the shower cheers me up a bit, and then it kind of puts me in a bit of a better frame of mind for the rest of the day. But I remember you used to have the moniker Grumpy Girl, I think. I got Flow magazine as one of my couple of magazines to test, along with the Spaces magazine that I got last time. And I don't know if you've got a subscription to this or if you just had bought it as a one-off, but I flicked through it to begin with and I didn't think much of it. I was like, they're talking about things like mindfulness, yay, and hygge. I'm not exactly sure how to say it. I'm like, yay, it's only talked about like so much. And there are some pretty pictures, yay. But I thought I will leave my judgment aside until I've actually read all of the words in it. And when I did that, I was really pleased. I thought, this is probably the closest that I've come to a magazine that I connect with so far. Magazines like Marie Claire have really good topical, political, activist kind of essays, as well as all the beauty fashion stuff. But unfortunately, they're always topics that I've read about previously. So I'm always feeling like, oh, you're telling me something that I already know. And then I'm not interested in the beauty and fashion magazines, and then I'm not really interested in things that have too much to do with sewing and cooking and stuff. And then there are other magazines that seem to be okay, but then they don't have any substance to them. They'll just have a piece about, for example, mindfulness or getting more organized, and you read the piece and you're like, why did you write that piece? Because I've come away from it knowing nothing additional it was so basic, like saying, you know, be more present in your life, appreciate every moment, or something like that, you know. But this one, I was really pleased. I am rambling today, aren't I? And a couple of examples. There's this piece called Nature Never Worries, and there's a quote from Agnes van der Berg from National Geographic, an environmental psychologist and professor of landscape perception at the University of Groningen in the Netherlands. The most important difference between natural objects and those made by man lies in their fractal patterns of self-repeating shapes. If you look at a cauliflower under a microscope, you still see a cauliflower. These fractal patterns are also found in flower petals and trees. The forms are eye-catching and they take no cognitive effort to look at, so the part of your brain used to focus your attention can rest. Subjects performed better on complex tests and showed a faster rate of stress recovery when they were exposed to fractal patterns. So that is something that I did not know. It makes sense. It's really interesting. It's something that is useful as well. Now that I know it, I know that I might be interested in learning more about fractal patterns. I might be interested in integrating this method of stress recovery in my own life in some ways. I'm interested in it from an artistic perspective, like I might investigate it a bit more in drawing. And the piece goes on to say, the European elite would close the curtains of their stagecoaches as they journeyed through the Alps. They thought that the chaos and horror of the wilderness would infect their bodies and souls, so they kept it out. I did not know that. That is intriguing. I thought that historically people would have appreciated nature and just thought, oh, that's beautiful, as they rode past in their carriage. It talks a little bit about the School of Life, which is an organisation that I appreciate. And there's this quote, a person from the School of Life, Dutch coach and psychologist Jaap Doen, apologies, I am probably mispronouncing. They say, I believe that when people think they are looking for happiness, they are actually unconsciously looking for excitement. And I read that and I instantly thought, if I ever feel like I'm seeking my life to be better, to be happier, what am I seeking? Am I actually seeking some kind of excitement? And I thought I will reflect upon that more. And there are other highlights that I've made in that piece. So I've been really happy with Flow magazine, and I think I will definitely buy the next issue. I've also read that Flow magazine is similar to UPPERCASE magazine, which comes out of Canada, I believe. So I might also try UPPERCASE magazine. And then I've read that they were also similar to Frankie magazine, which I haven't in the past connected to, but I might try that again. There's like a little doll stroller sticking out of my shoulder. Hi. Little interlude. Last week my video was late because we went to Blackgowrie for a few days. It's about an hour and 15 minutes drive away down the coast, and my parents have a beach shack down there, and I've just included this little bit of footage here of coming up around the corner of the shack and walking in, and you can see how my mum has chosen to fit out the place. Has a very certain kind of feel about it, very retro feel. And sitting in this chair is my favourite place to sit in this house, looking out at the balcony, looking out at the Australian foliage. It's very relaxing, and I was thinking while I was down there, I might actually come down here by myself one time and see what it's like as a solo getaway. I've never done that before, but I thought that might be interesting to have a little trip by myself. It's funny because I used to be really embarrassed about the beach shack. I wouldn't tell people about it. I'd apologize profusely. I remember I would just be so embarrassed. Friends had holiday houses that were like pretty cool, and this was just like this little shack. Now I come and I appreciate it so much. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's quaint. I think it has such character, and I love the furniture now, and I sit down in this chair and I look out and I just think it's beautiful and relaxing and lovely. I'm sorry that you didn't really enjoy Onma's week in Sketchbook Skool. I thought that you would really like that. I thought that you would really revel in her pleasure and enjoyment and her enthusiasm and her... She almost has this like hedonistic vibe that she's enjoying this thing so much it's infectious. And I also thought that you would enjoy doing the surface design kind of repeat and colourfulness, and it's fascinating to me that you really didn't like that week at all. So the last week with Nina Johansson, I loved watching her draw. I loved seeing all of her pages. I found that when she was talking, I didn't feel like I was learning as much as someone like Onma, but yeah, it was wonderful. And I thought that I would find it really hard with such a open-ended piece of homework, which is like draw something from your imagination each day, because that's, you know, you've got a blank page, draw something. I thought I would find that really hard, but I found myself just doing all of these drawings. Let's see. See, this is how sloppy I am this week. I was like, oh, I could be showing the thing while I'm talking about it. So, Flower's sleeping. I don't know if that shows up yet because it's only pencil. A castle, which I haven't fully completed. This is, I'm gonna have to colour this in. This is the visual that got stuck in my head from my parents' place, and then I've been doing some clothes actually. I've so far just done the outlines, and I've just done some sort of vague mock-ups. This page is a scrap page. I was not pleased with any of those things. A leaf t-shirt, which I'm going to colour. A weird robot man. And this one, which I'm yet to colour as well. So I just had a bunch of ideas for different things, and they all look pretty shocking now because they're just in the very initial kind of sketch stage. But I was actually thinking, I find it so hard to find clothes in the shops that I like the fabric, I like the cut of them, I like the pattern, I like how it presents me. And so I thought I would try drawing the t-shirts that I want to wear, and the dresses that I want to wear, and the yoga clothes that I want to be able to buy. So I've just done the outline so far, and I need to fill it all in. But yeah, I was surprised that I wasn't finding that hard after all. And then the last thing that I had was my second week of painting class, which I enjoyed. She gave us quite a simple exercise, which was to do a continuous line drawing, which I have also heard from the Sketchbook Skool, Koosje, that you find it easier to draw accurately what you're seeing rather than what you think you're seeing if you're doing a continuous line drawing. And the teacher at painting class said we're going to draw the person who's opposite us, and then we want to have fun with mixing colours, fill in all of the chunks of the continuous line drawing, because when you do a continuous line drawing it makes all these shapes. So fill all of those in with all of the colors that you're doing. And I found it really easy but also enjoyable. And I also found when I was doing the continuous line drawing that I could get a better idea of when I was going right and when I was going wrong with trying to capture the likeness of someone. So I'm going to try doing that more. I found the first one quite easy, so the second one I chose only 2 colors that I could use just to do something, set a different challenge for myself. And then the third one was the one that I was happiest with, which was the man sitting next to me, Glenn. And I felt like, yeah, I got something. And that one, I also tried a limited palette, and I tried using the watercolor as though it was like a felt tip or a pencil, like you're doing a scribble kind of color in. And then the last one, I didn't want to bug anyone by telling them, oh, I'm going to draw you again. So I just tried drawing a face, but I felt like that wasn't extending me at all. Anyone can draw like nose and eyes and ears and hair and neck, but if you're not imitating from someone, then you're not really learning. I want to do some more practice with that. Other people had a really hard time doing incorrect colors for things. They really wanted to do like a skin-like color for skin and a hair-like color for hair. I wanted to ask, what were the classes that you did where you just took them again and again? Thank you again so much for Sketchbook Skool. I have really enjoyed doing that. I'm thinking about maybe signing up for another smaller class. I saw there's one on You Draw Badly or something like that I thought would be a good one for me. Anything to do with more drawing learning, and I've been watching heaps of the Draw Tip Tuesday videos from Koosje's YouTube channel and want to learn more about how to draw a reflection, how to draw a shadow, how to draw perspective, how to draw foreshortening, how to draw these common mistakes that beginner drawers make, etc. Bye. I love you. Bye. I love you. Bye. I love you. Bye.